The beautiful shadow. Once, in a small town surrounded by dense forests, there was a story whispered among locals. They spoke of a woman who was not quite human, yet not quite a spirit either. They called her the beautiful shadow. She was described as tall, with hair blacker than midnight, and eyes that glimmered like the surface of a moonlit lake. Her dress was always different, sometimes red, sometimes white, but always too bold for the time, as if she wanted to provoke desire and fear at the same time. Men spoke of her beauty. Women spoke of her danger. She was seen walking alone on empty roads or standing under a flickering lamppost, smiling as if she was waiting for someone. And whoever stopped, whoever looked into her eyes, never remained the same again. This is not just a ghost story. It is a story of love, obsession, and a curse that turned a woman into a nightmare. It was a cold winter night when Adrian, a young writer who had moved to the town, first heard about the beautiful shadow. He laughed it off, thinking it was just an old legend made to scare children. But that night, as he walked back from a small cafe, he felt something strange. The wind suddenly turned warm, like a breath on his neck. The streets were empty, yet he heard footsteps behind him. Turning around, he saw her, a woman in a bold, crimson dress that hugged her shape. Her lips curved into a smile that was both inviting and terrifying. "You're new here," she said, her voice silky, almost hypnotic. Adrian froze. He didn't know why, but he couldn't look away. She moved closer, her eyes locked on his. "Don't be afraid," she whispered. "I've been waiting for someone like you." And before he knew it, her fingers were on his cheek, cold yet strangely comforting. That night, he dreamt of her, a dream too real. Her laugh, her touch, her whisper that said, "You belong to me now." Adrian tried to ignore the strange encounter. He told himself it was just his imagination, maybe an attractive woman passing by. But she kept appearing, sometimes at the window of his apartment, standing outside in the rain, her dress clinging to her body like a second skin. Sometimes in the reflection of the cafe glass, smiling at him even when she wasn't really there. And sometimes, in his bedroom, when he woke up at midnight, he could feel her lips on his neck. Adrian was terrified, yet he couldn't stop thinking about her. Her smile haunted him. Her eyes promised something no living woman ever could, a love that would never end. One night, he saw her clearly. She sat on his bed, in a bold black dress that revealed more than it hid. Her hair fell over her shoulders, and her skin glowed pale under the moonlight. "Why are you afraid of me?" she asked, tilting her head. "Because you're not real," Adrian whispered. She laughed a low, seductive laugh. "I am as real as your desires. Touch me." His hand trembled, but when he reached out, his fingers didn't pass through air. He felt her, soft, cold, and alive. She leaned closer, her breath on his ear. "I can give you everything you want. Pleasure, love, devotion. All I ask in return is your soul." And Adrian, he didn't say no. The next day, Adrian asked a few locals about the woman. An old bookseller looked pale when Adrian described her. "You fool," the old man said, slamming his hand on the counter. "That woman is not alive. She died 100 years ago. A bride who was betrayed on her wedding night. They say she was beautiful, and too proud. When her lover left her, she hung herself by the old oak tree. Since then, she returns, to find a new lover." Adrian felt a chill down his spine. "Some say," the old man continued, lowering his voice, "she preys on men. She makes them fall in love. She feeds on their life, until nothing is left." But Adrian didn't listen. He couldn't. Every night, she came back to him, her touch growing warmer, her kisses deeper, her whispers more desperate. She told him her name now, Celine. "Say my name," she demanded one night. "Say you belong to me." And Adrian, lost in her beauty, said it, "Celine, I am yours." Their nights turned into passion. He would write during the day, but at night, his room filled with candles that she lit herself. She would dance around him in her bold, flowing dresses, sometimes red like blood, sometimes white like a wedding gown, sometimes black like funeral silk. She made him feel wanted, needed. Yet, he noticed his body weakening. His skin grew pale, his eyes sunken. Friends asked if he was sick. He brushed them off. He didn't care about the world anymore. He only cared about her. But one night, as he held her in his arms, he felt something strange. Her body was cold, yes, but under his hand he felt bones. Sharp, dry bones beneath her soft skin. When he pulled back, for just a second, her beautiful face turned into a horrifying skull with empty eye sockets. He screamed. And just like that, she was beautiful again, smiling seductively. "Do you doubt me, Adrian?" she asked, her eyes flashing with danger. "No," he stammered. "No, I love you." She smiled widely. "Good. Because if you ever leave me, I will take not just your soul, but everyone you love." Adrian realized too late he was trapped. Adrian's friend, a journalist named Lucas, began to notice the change. "You're not the same," Lucas said one afternoon, staring at Adrian's tired eyes. "You look like a man who hasn't slept in weeks." Adrian shrugged. "I'm in love." "With who?" Lucas asked. Adrian hesitated. He couldn't say her name out loud. It felt sacred. It felt dangerous. "You wouldn't understand," he said. But Lucas was curious. He followed Adrian one night, hiding in the shadows near his apartment. And he saw her, a woman in a white gown, her beauty unreal, her eyes fixed on Adrian like a hunter staring at its prey. Lucas tried to take a photo with his camera. The camera broke. The lens shattered. And in the distance, he heard her laugh, a laugh that chilled his bones. That night, Adrian asked her the question he had been afraid to ask. "What are you?" Celine smiled, her red dress glowing in the candlelight. She leaned close to his ear. "I was a woman once. Betrayed. Humiliated. Abandoned. I took my own life under the old oak tree. And when I opened my eyes again, I was different. Stronger. Eternal." She cupped his face, her touch both loving and possessive. "I am what men desire and what they fear. I give them pleasure, and I take their souls. But you, Adrian, you are different. You love me truly. And for that, I will give you a gift." "What gift?" he whispered. She smiled darkly. "Forever." Chapter 7. The curse revealed. Over the next few nights, Adrian's health rapidly declined. He grew weaker, his hands trembled, his skin turned gray. Yet his heart beat wildly every time he saw her. She would appear in different forms, sometimes a bride in white, sometimes a lover in red, sometimes a temptress in black. But one night, he woke up to find her standing at the foot of his bed, her eyes empty, her dress dripping with blood. "It is time," she said. "Time for what?" Adrian asked, his voice shaking. "Time to join me. To love me in death, as you have loved me in life." She extended her hand. Her nails were long, sharp, glimmering like blades. Lucas burst into the room at that very moment, holding an old book he had found at the library, a book about the curse of Celine. "Adrian," he shouted, "don't touch her. She feeds on your soul. Once you give in, you'll never return." Celine turned, her beautiful face twisting into something monstrous. "Stay out of this, mortal," she hissed, her voice like 1,000 voices echoing at once. Lucas held up the book, reading an incantation written in Latin. The room shook. The candles blew out. Celine screamed, her body flickering between beauty and horror. "Adrian," she cried, tears in her eyes now. "Don't let him take me away. You love me. You promised." Adrian's heart broke. He did love her, but he could feel his life slipping away. He looked at Lucas, then back at her. "Celine," he whispered, "I am sorry kropka." And he joined Lucas in the chant. With a final shriek that shook the walls, Celine vanished into darkness. The candles relit themselves, but she was gone. Adrian fell to his knees, weeping. His body was frail, his heart broken. Lucas helped him up. She wasn't real, Adrian. She was a curse. But Adrian shook his head. She was real to me. And then, in the silence of the room, a familiar whisper brushed against his ear. I will come back. Love like ours never dies. Adrian's eyes widened. He knew it wasn't over. To this day, locals claim that under the old oak tree, on nights when the moon is full, a beautiful woman in a bold dress can be seen dancing in the wind. Some say she waits for Adrian. Others say she looks for a new lover. But one thing is certain. If you hear a woman whisper your name in the dark, don't turn around, because it might be her, the beautiful shadow